Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Edge of Eternities Draft here on the channel. Our rare, or mythic rare, shall I say, is Cavaron Memorial World, which is a very strong card because it's just a land, and it comes into play tapped, which is a downside, but then in the late game, if you have been able to station it over the course of the game, it gives you some serious inevitability, which is quite good. We also have Scour for Scrap, which is a card I like in blue-black artifact control because it's just a great card advantage engine, finds you two really good cards. Often that will get you card advantage themselves. Then there is Cavaron Harrier, which is a nice one-drop aggressive creature. Scrounge for Eternity is solid. But I think the card we're ultimately going to take is Edge Rover, a card that I've been very impressed by. 1 mana for a 2/2 is just already good. The fact that it has reach is extra upside, and then when it dies, each player creates a lander, which is usually more helpful for you as a green player than for your opponents in whatever color they are playing. So I really do like Edge Rover, and I'm really happy to start a draft with it. Or it's not like as good as starting with a crazy rare, but I do think Edge Rover is nice. Cavaron would probably have been my second pick out of that pack. Now we have the classic conundrum, because Edge Rover is a solid green card, and there's also Broodguard Elite and Diplomatic Relations in this pack. I think I would take Diplomatic Relations over Broodguard Elite at the moment, but taking a Diplomatic Relations is tempting because it's another green card, but then there's something like Vote Out, which is a really strong black removal spell, really easy to cast for like 2 or 3 mana, or sometimes even 1 mana, and that's really good. I think I will take the Vote Out. I think Diplomatic Relations. I've found that I feel a little bit nervous casting my Diplomatic Relations into open mana. There's a lot of good instant speed removal spells in this set. So I think Vote Out's going to be pretty solid for us here. Second pick. I do like black as well, so getting into black is always nice. Pick 3, Gemstone Cavern. Not a card you should take for winning in draft, but last I checked, it was worth a lot of money, so that could have changed, of course, but it's not a card we will consider here. There is Hymn of the Faller, so good card advantage for a black deck. Triggering Void is not that hard, and if you have to cast it for the other mode, that's not the end of the world. In green, there is Germinating Worm, so maybe green's not the most open. And then in blue, there's Starbreach Whale, which I like. I think here it's pretty easy. Hymn of the Faller. 2 mana to surveil 1, draw a card, lose 1 life, and then draw a second card. Is pretty good, and it's not that hard to trigger that. So I like getting this card now. I think my second pick out of this pack would maybe be Germinating Worm, because I do think going with the Edge Rover is nice, and Germinating Worm is not the end of the world. Okay, now there is Tannock, which I really think is a great card. We aren't seeing any individually strong red or green cards, though. Like Melded Moxite and Thawbringer are not good cards. So I'm not sure if we should be trying to get into red or green, or even red-green specifically, even though Tannock is really good, because those individual colors don't seem open. Blue-black has seemed the most open. We see Lost in Space and a Lightless Evangel here. We're going to take the Lightless Evangel here. It plays well with just random sacrifice stuff you get. If you ever put a counter on it, you're pretty happy. And black decks in general tend to get a couple of ways to sacrifice things, so I think that's going to be pretty solid. Insatiable Skittermaw is also fine. We're keeping in mind that blue-black or black-white might be the most open colors here. Now there is Mechan Navigator, a really nice little blue card. Drawing and discarding is always a nice little upside. Vote Out number 2, however, is probably more likely to get the nod just because I've already got black cards, and I think that these cards is probably even better than the Mechan Navigator. Faller's Faithful can be good as like a way to like sacrifice your own creature to draw some cards, finish off your opponent's creatures in combat if you're attacking with small guys, or just sometimes just kill your opponent's creature and then get in a big attack to win the game. But I think we'll just keep taking the black cards while they are presenting themselves. And now Virus Beetle's perfect. It's a 2-drop, so you can play 2-drop Virus Beetle, turn 3, Vote Out. It's just a really good card to sacrifice to things, so it plays well in the same decks as Hymn of the Faller. I mean, Lightless Evangel and Hymn of the Faller, honestly. And again, we're seeing a little bit of white, a little bit of green, but black has seemed the most open, and so I'm always happy to follow that open signal. Here it's crazy. There's a Territorial Bruntar, pick 7. This is quite late for a Bruntar. I think this card is quite good. And a really nice top-end card. We haven't seen red being particularly open, though. Beamsaw Prospector is a really nice 2-drop for black, and it's guaranteed to make our deck, so we're not going to take the Bruntar here. It is a bit of a signal point, but we want to just make sure we get guaranteed playables for our deck. And this card is really good in a lot of the black shells. And now we can get, pick 8. Late Biosynthetic Burst maybe, but Skittermaw is going to be great. We're going to be able to trigger Void consistently if we get some sack effects. No need to move deeper into green when we only have the Edge Rover pulling us there. And just a combat trick isn't the end of the world to miss out on. I do like Skittermaw. And then we wield a Germinating Worm. We also wield Slag Drill Scrapper, and of course we wield the Scrounge for Eternity, which I think we'll take here. We have a few things that are pretty reasonable to sacrifice, like a Virus Beetle, the Hymn of the Beamsaw Prospector, the token from Beamsaw Prospector, and we could totally get some stuff that's good with Scrounge. We're seeing some green and Lost in Space wheeling is interesting to note. And then we get a Decode Transmissions. We're not really in the market for Cosmogoyf. So we'll just take the Decode. Setting up for a very heavy black deck right now. But so far, it's just been like a clear lane. We've seen a couple of red cards that are okay. We've seen a couple green cards that are okay. And overall, we've got a good curve. We've got 3 2-drop creatures. A little bit of removal, a little bit of card advantage. We'll take another Skittermaw now. I do think the dragon is solid in some decks. It's better in red-green, I think, than in black-red. But Skittermaw is totally fine as a growing threat. And we're not trying to play mono black, but we're going to probably get a lot of black cards in pack 2 and 3. Okay, another Skittermaw. It's not the greatest card. We're not going to be that upset if we don't play Skittermaws. Okay, now there's no reason to get cutesy here. We've opened up a black rare. Even though it's not the craziest card, we are going to be heavy black. Probably at least 9 or 10 swamps. And this card's solid. I do like Orbital Plunge. I do think that Mechan Assembler is solid, especially in blue-black artifact control. We're not really trying to play all these black cards, like the Skittermaws. We don't really want to play all those. We might not play Decode. We might not play Scrounge. So, like, we have these black cards, but, like, we're probably going to cut a decent number of them. But Zoo, if it's still a nice card. And other than that, I think that we would maybe take Orbital Plunge. We don't really need a Dark Endurance, but I do think Orbital Plunge is nice. And seeing a last pick Drill Too Deep was a bit of a signal. So, yeah. We start off with a black rare, though. And we're just going to keep taking the black cards when they present themselves. Dubious Delicacy is fantastic. It's this classic balancing act that I like to tell you about. The balance between how likely is the card to make my deck versus how powerful is the card. So Dubious Delicacy is 100% to make my deck because I'm playing black and it's a great card. Whereas something like Mechan Assembler is a good card as well, but it's much less likely to make my deck because I'm not sure if I'm going to be blue, whereas I'm 100% going to be black. And this isn't the greatest example. Let's just imagine this was like a blue rare that was pretty solid. Even then, I think Dubious Delicacy wins that exchange. Also really good for triggering my void cards. Seeing a little bit of red, a little bit of white, a little bit of... I'd probably take Embrace Oblivion second, honestly, here, for the same reason. Just black cards are guaranteed to make the cut. Monoist Circuit Feeder. This is the one where I'm starting to get tempted, because there's also a Grav Kill. How many artifacts do I have? I have 3 artifacts right now. And I've got a couple things that make artifacts when they die. And this is one of my artifacts. Keep that in mind. Monoist Circuit Feeder is messed up. Giant Flyer kills something. There's also Grav Kill, but I already have the 2 vote outs. I'm going to take the Circuit Feeder and then try to get some artifacts to go with it, I think. Even if I don't get a ton of artifacts, it's still a Giant Flyer, so we can use it as a win con. Okay, now there's a Timeline Color. I'm heavy black. This card is great in heavy black decks. Wouldn't mind a Swarm Color either. And I wouldn't mind a Nutrient Block now that I have Monoist Circuit Feeder. This is a pretty easy Timeline Color, though. Again, Codecracker Hound is the best card in this pack by a lot. And blue-black is the best home for Monoist. Yeah, let's take the Codecracker Hound. Pick 5. I think Virus Beetle's solid, but I'd rather just get a Codecracker and then we get a Beamsaw Prospector. Differently named lands, interesting. But yeah, we're going to be fine on 2 drops. Okay, we'll take a Sunstar Lightsmith now, maybe. Actually, we'll take the Weft Stalker Ardent. I don't know. None of these cards are great. Nanoform Sentinel is not my favorite either. Okay, Peregrine Beckoner or Wormwall Sweeper. Let's take the Wormwall Sweeper. I think it's a good combo with the Monoist, and yeah. And then a Nutrient Block. Getting a little bit of artifact synergy into my deck. Embrace Oblivion, good synergy piece with the Nutrient Block. Not necessarily going to make the cut, but decent option. Blade of the Swarm came back, kind of nice. And Swarm Color came back. So black is wide open here. Opened up insane black rare for this deck. Don't mind if I do. At this point, I might just play mono black. I mean, I have the Code Cracker Hound that I can kind of splash. And it's a good card, so I might do that. And it helps me trigger my Skittermoss. I don't really want to play all the Skittermoss. Elegy Acolyte's fantastic, though. Easy pick here. There's nothing even remotely close. And then... Monoist Sentry is a decent card, but it can't attack. It can crew things up. It just sits and play. I think I'd rather have Beam Saw, though. Just get another 2-drop. Helps me get my artifact count up. Nutrient Block. Spaceship. Scanship, I mean. Scanship's okay. If I'm splashing blue anyway, Scanship could be okay. Plasma Bolt is fine, but we have plenty of removal. And Scanship, I think, is better than another Nutrient Block that might even wheel. Umbral Caller Zealot is just fantastic. Easy pick here. 2-mana 3/2s are just huge. And I'm only going to be lightly dipping into blue for a couple cards, it looks like. We don't need a second one of these. Don't really need the mental modulation, though. I guess we can just rare draft. I don't know if we ever want Embrace Oblivion #2. I guess it's okay with the Beam Saws. Yeah, I might as well potentially include it. Awesome stuff. It is funny. Seeing the second Peregrine Beckoner, I could have gone for the infinite combo with Weft Stalker Ardent plus Umbral Caller Zealot plus 2 Peregrine Beckoners, but I think blue was a better choice here. Orbital Plunge is fantastic. And yeah, but we will try to go for the infinite combo at some point, don't worry. Bombard is great. Grav Blade Heavy. Let's just take Bombard, I guess. Lunar Whale. Crazy. I mean, Starbreach Whale. Sure, I'll take that. Over Comet Crawler. Comet Crawler's fine. But I do like Starbreach Whale. And I've been a little bit less impressed by Comet Crawler. Wow, we wield Diplomatic Relations. I guess we'll just take the black card. We're not going to play the blue Mech and Shield Mate. Sure, we'll just pass all the random junk we see. Ooh, Nutrient Block came back. We'll play that. It's good with our Embrace Oblivions, Swarm Colors, Scrounge. Though I don't know if we even want the Scrounge. 5 or less. It's kind of dicey. I guess getting back a Elegy Acolyte's pretty good. Okay, so 11/6 mana seems okay to me. Because we want to be able to cast our Timeline Color and be able to cast double black spells and stuff. I think 1 Embrace Oblivion is a good sweet spot with this build. Nanoform Sentinel definitely getting cut. Definitely cutting at least 2 Skittermaws, probably all 3. Scrounge for Eternity just doesn't seem that good. It's like a lot of setup to get back cards, and we don't have any self-mill to fill the graveyard. Blade of the Swarm. It is a huge creature. Like, absolutely massive. Cut the last Skittermaw. I do think Decode is fine. 14 creatures right now. Swarm Color can currently sacrifice Delicacy, Beam Saws, Beam Saw Lander tokens, Virus Beetle, Timeline Color. There's enough to sacrifice for it. Blade of the Swarm, I think, can get cut, and then we'll cut one land because we have some good little fixing stuff. Yeah, I think this will be the build. We could consider a second Embrace Oblivion if we do feel like we need more removal. 13 creatures should be fine. Wormwall Sweeper might not be the best in this deck, honestly, because we don't have that many creatures. So maybe I'd just rather play an extra land rather than that. Yeah, that seems way better to me. Okay, cool. I will see you folks in the games. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the people who support my channel and my work at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. If you have been enjoying my videos, if you've been finding them helpful, if you've been finding them entertaining, and if you want to support my mission to make draft more accessible for everyone with my videos, my guides, and my sheets, then Patreon is the way to help do so directly, and you'll also gain access to some cool bonuses like my card by card tier list and format thoughts document, as well as other cool rewards. I want to give a special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It makes a huge difference. And without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome to round one. We've got a great hand here. Nutrient Block. I do like Nutrient Block in my deck. I think it's a solid card in the format. On the draw against a blue deck, though. Sure. No, let's just pass. Because we can use this to warp and trigger Hymn of the Faller. Or warp trigger Tragic Trajectory if need be. Or we can just play it normally. Sure. This card is super good in our deck. Gosh darn it, opponent. You're too clever for me, I guess. We'll lose 2 life, it's okay. Them having Seam Rip for our Timeline Color is so unlucky. This is like the only removal spell, or I guess Banishing Light, that can really answer it well. After my video a couple days ago where I was milling people out with my blue-white deck, I'm terrified of this, the way the mill's going to play out. Okay, play our Umbral Caller Zealot. Sure. We have some great removal, some more card advantage. Maybe we should cut a land in this deck. It is pretty cheap. Then again, we have stuff like Uthros Scanship to help us. But yeah, with 2 Nutrient Blocks, plenty of sack stuff, I think we should cut a land and... Okay, Banishing Light, sure. Sure, they sack it to draw a card. I'm actually totally okay with the way this game is progressing. Remember, I do have like 13 creatures in my deck. So I will draw them eventually. And I have great removal spells in the meantime. They have 4 cards in hand. I have more than that. Sure. Let's just be mana efficient here. Go for the kill on the savior. Then we can sack this to gain 3 life. Play Hymn of the Faller. And sure, we'll keep... do we want a 2-drop? Is a 2-drop better than a random draw from our deck? Probably doubtful, honestly. Perfect, that's way better. Of course, if I'd known I was going to draw this as my other card, I might have rather had the Beam Saw. Now that is useful indeed. So you might be wondering why I'm not playing the Code Cracker. I think they might have counter unless I pay 2. Okay, they do not have counter unless I pay 2. Also, I was thinking that this thing would go into exile no matter what. I should have just warped this. Because this guy can't, like, sacrifice. For some reason, I was thinking, oh, I can use this to sacrifice this guy. Okay, that's totally fine. So we'll just sack this, get another land from our deck. Warp this guy to start off. Definitely grab the scan ship. Trajectory, their Weft Light Enhancer. Play scan ship. Beautiful. Start the stationing. You might be wondering why I killed this instead of this creature. I could have killed both as well. I'm not super concerned about this. I'm about to play a giant flyer. I'm about to have this thing going. I'd rather kill a Starbreach Whale, that's for sure. They surveil both to the graveyard, interesting. So let's just take their last card first. We have the mana to do everything we want. Whoa, they clearly want to protect that last card. So we'll do this first. And we will take the nutrient block. Just cast this normally. Oh, yes. Both of those will be quite nice indeed. So this is at 3 right now. It needs 5 more. I guess 6 more, yep. Okay, because it was a 2 before, yep. Perfect. So they really wanted to protect one of their cards. Another Starbreach Whale, sure. We'll get their last card out of hand. Sure. Play this guy. This will cost 3 to use, right? So play land. 6, 7. So this will cost 3 to use, and I want to play this. So I need to get this down for 1 mana. Play this guy. Target this. Booyah. Beautiful. I know they kept this card on top. Sacrificing an artifact does make my potential top decked 6-drop a little bit worse. I will keep that on top. Bring back a 2/4. This is feeling very good for me. Weft Blade, sure. So I can play Elegy Acolyte. This is a line someone pointed out to me before. But I can then attack with like a 2/1. If they take it, they take 2. But if they don't take it, then I get a 2/2 on end step. So I wasn't going to be able to trigger it otherwise. Okay, I guess I was going to be able to trigger it. I'll save this for next turn. Boom! Got the win. Nicely done. Huge victory for the home team. Maybe I should have sacrificed Nutrient Block so I could draw a spell, but it felt like reasonable to just like keep making my 2/2s. I mean, I had so many powerful creatures in that deck. It feels like I don't need to go too egregious on my mana stuff. I could probably cut a land, but we'll just check it for this next game, see how it feels. Always keep in mind the changes you could make to your deck and play the games with those potential changes in mind. That's how I recommend it. Okay. On the draw, this seems like a good hand. 2-drop, 3-drop. Love Code Cracker Hound. This was the card that convinced me not to be mono black. Zoifit Osteoharmonist. Okay, they've mulliganed. They have indeed mulliganed. Which sometimes means you're more likely to just play this for normal mode instead of warping it. We have plenty of card advantage in our hand. Against a red deck, too. Okay. Red-black. Well, red-black is the sort of matchup where sometimes it's more value than speed. We'll have to see. Okay, they play nothing. Okay, well, if they're going to play nothing, give me all the time in the world, then I will warp this. Playing this guy doesn't make that much sense. Feels like they're holding up a removal spell. Take Vote out. They can kill this to prevent me from casting it again, but I still got my 2-for-1. Then Swarmcaller can start sacrificing Beamsaw Prospector. Yep. That's Still okay for me. So they don't have a 4-drop to play, or they would have done that on the play. Oh, they do have a 4-drop to play. That's weird. Okay. Well, well, well. Play land. Let's just play this Swarm color. We could have played Umbral Caller Zealot into Vote Out. If they don't have a kill spell for Swarm color, though, we're in pretty good shape here. The Memorial Team Leader is not the end of the world. We can afford to take a hit for 4 if it means getting better setup, because we can always just go like Umbral Caller Zealot, Vote Out this turn. So they have an Orbital Plunge now, okay. Perfect, okay. Play Umbral Caller Zealot. Play land, play Osteoharmonicist. And again, we'll pass. I think we're just playing this pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy's going on here. This is a pretty easy block. 4-3 for 3-2, even though my 3-2 has some extra upside. Territorial Bruntar is definitely going to die. That's for sure. So if I do that for 3 mana, so I'm going to play the land. Use Beam Saw to help kill this. Play Decode, draw 2. Activate this, bring back a 2-4 or a 3-2. 3-2 seems like a better stat line here to block the Mechan. Doesn't have its abilities, but it's a nice creature still. Okay, that is annoying for me for sure. Bruntar coming back, okay. Sure. Okay. Let's go attack. Nutrient block. Sack nutrient block. Okay. Hymn of the Faller. Definitely don't need that. Who throws Scan Ship? Sure. Interesting. So now we can definitely get this thing going first. Discard Timeline color. Surveil this guy. They're hopefully only going to get 1 turn out of the Bruntar. Bring back the code cracker. 3, 5. Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess this up. I think they have all spells in hand, so I could be taking a giant chunk here. They didn't have a land, at least they didn't play a land last turn. Turbo Drone, sure. Mechan, sure. Okay. Interesting. Maybe I should have saved this so I could warp it. Skeleton, skeleton, skeleton. Oh, right. That thing does have reach. I forgot about that. That was my B. My B 100%. Another Bruntar, eh? This isn't an artifact. Oh gosh, this is tough. There's their value coming. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I only have 2 lands left here. So I could get both my lands out. But these 2 artifacts are kind of valuable for potentially just killing this Mechan this coming turn. If I draw an artifact, I have a nutrient block. Suiciding in my scan chip was really bad. Yeah, the timeline color thing, not being able to kill the Bruntar when I wanted to so I could keep my 4/4 alive, is going to cost me this game. If I had just waited on warping, I could have done a lot more stuff there. Sure. Booyah. That's a great draw. Going to make me another robot. So now I have 3 artifacts. This will be the 4th one. Oh my gosh. My math is so dumb. I could have... Oh gosh. Grav ship gonna get back another Bruntar. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Gunship. Oh no. Well, there goes Elegy Acolyte, I assume. Or maybe my flyer. I think I'm going to lose this game. And it's all because of that one small mistake. Also forgetting that this counts itself as an artifact. I have a good number of removal spells still in my deck. Just what I needed. Target this guy. Target this guy. Bring back this. Combat. Attack with everything, pretty much. So I'll go to 4. That killed their Bruntar. And these things stayed in, still go to the graveyard, so. Bring back my 4/4 because it's now a lethal threat. Sack this to get my last land out of my deck. Because I no longer have the circuit feeder to need it. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, yeah. I think we got him. We can just take 4 and then get them for 4. Last land. Booyah. Got the job done. Always gotta be precise, though. Gotta be careful in these games. Our deck is doing great so far, though. Let's shave 1 land, because we do have a lot of card advantage and card draw and dinky little ways to get extra cards into our hands. So let's cut 1 of these for an extra Embrace Oblivion, because I feel like that card would have been good. We could also add in this guy or Wormwall Sweeper. Wormwall's honestly okay, probably. It's an evasive creature. It surveils us. Works with Monoist. Let's just run it like this, though. You can always make changes later. The slight changes are just as important as the big changes sometimes. Ugh. Yes. Agua. Welcome to another round. This is technically round 4. My last game, there was like either the game crashed or my internet disconnected, one of those two things. So we were halfway through the game and it ended, so we just skipped that one. Looked kind of in the middle. I think I was slightly ahead, but it was a close one, so we're just going to move past it and focus on this next game. Always a little bit irritating when that happens, though. Beautiful draw right there. Against white decks, I think my life total is going to matter more than theirs, so I don't want to just jeopardize it. White-blue, okay. Ilvoy Operative, sure. Let's hold back. I think we're winning a long game with our scan ship and our swarm color value. Swarm color sacrificing nutrient block or just sacrificing the color over and over is pretty good. Oh, yikes. That is unfortunate. I guess I missed out on 2 points of damage. This could go badly for me. Oh, that's kind of a relief, honestly. We'll keep our swarm color up here. I could just lose this game on tempo for sure. It's crazy because I played 1-drop, 2-drop, kill spell on 3, swarm color, and I'm still losing horrifically. Oh my gosh, really? Block there. Gosh, I'm so foolish. That's obviously the card they have. I was thinking they had +1/+0 and first strike. I don't know why I never think of Focus Fire. Oh man, this is so over. Yeah. Gosh. It's always frustrating to just lose a game from something you can't control. And then immediately just lose another one and you're just like immediately in jeopardy in your draft. But that's the nature of the beast. You gotta stay focused, gotta stay in the zone. It was weird, like at the start when my game crashed, my first thought was, oh, the game's crashed. I didn't even consider internet being out until I like checked my phone or whatever, and I was like, oh, maybe internet's out. Which isn't Arena's fault at all, but that's just something I should put into my checklist mentally to try and reboot the internet. It's hard to get all that stuff done fast enough for it to save a game, and I have no idea why it happens. But this is a great hand. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. Pretty much the dream. And now we went from a spot where we were 2-0 trying to get 3-0 to now we're 2-2. We're back in the trenches. You got to be able to adapt to these scenarios. Okay. We could have sacked this to try and guarantee our next land drop. We might do that on the following turn, honestly. The blue-black mirror. Perfect. Now we don't have to. This card is scary for them, for sure. And they really probably want to kill it, but they don't really have to right now. Gonna get our card out of this. They probably have another kill spell for the Acolyte. That's how it goes. They did already use one kill spell on Zuifit. And we have a pretty good hand for this matchup. This artifact's going to help us with our circuit feeder. This thing's going to make an artifact maybe eventually. This can sack to draw a card. So if you look at it, it's like the way the cards work is we both have 4 lands in play. They have 6 cards in hand. I have 3. But I have 3 cards in play. So that's 6 to 6. But having 2 cards in play is way better than having 2 cards in hand. And I'm going to draw another card on my turn. Okay. That is not even close to good enough. If that's their best play, we are crushing them. Like, this game is, like, over. Yikes. Because we can sack this, get a draw card. Cryo Shatter, okay. I see. So we can make this thing die to get a robot. Perfect. And then we'll play our Virus Beetle. And then we'll get a robot. Because multiple non-land permanents left the battlefield. Not that we'll get multiple robots, but... yeah, Nanoform's not a great card. Boom! We're back to the victories. Huge. Hopefully we can get to 4, maybe even 5 wins, maybe even the whole way, but it still feels good to rebound and not just go like 2-0 into 3 straight losses. So I am optimistic for this round that we can stay the course. It's always important to focus on what you can control. Focus on your mental game. Sometimes stuff's going to happen. You can be in the middle of an F&M and an earthquake can happen right as you were about to swing for lethal and win your first F&M. And that's going to happen sometimes. Not often. Hopefully. Very infrequently. Maybe 1 in a million bajillion times. But you got to be able to come... yeah. In that case, don't go back to F&M. Go check up on yourself and make sure everything's okay. That's not the greatest example. Let's think of less brutal things than earthquakes. The power might go out. That's a better example. We got our beam saw. The beam saw. Gosh. Okay. Sack nutrient block. Kill this guy. I think that's the right play. Slows him down a little bit. This guy's kind of interesting. Man, Swarmcaller always dies, but if it stuck around ever, it would be so good for me. Okay. So they're missing lands. So they hit a land. Now, I'm still in the spot where I'm like, okay, Focus Fire is a card I should always think about. Okay. Definitely not giving them an artifact. Decline. You can have your 4/3. The Mechan, sure. Kill their 4/3 by sacking this guy. Bring back a 2/4. Play land. End turn. I can't currently kill anything with the Monoist, which is unfortunate. This is truly very unfortunate. Yep, I'm gonna lose to the Elegy Acolyte. That's a bummer. Let's just do it like this. I could have attacked for 2, but they were just never going to block, so I would have just missed out on 2 points of damage. Wow. Bell Grav ship, really? It's wild. So if I draw a kill spell right now, we're like totally in it. Come on, kill spell. Oh my gosh, we've done it. We have done it. So we can put them to 1. I think we're live. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. So, yeah, we'll let them create 2 landers. So I'll take 2 more from this. I'll go to 9. Maybe I did that math wrong. 1, 2. Yeah, I live at 1. Yes! Oh my gosh. Because I think if I had let them make the 4/3, they would have been able to attack me for another 3 damage. So I would have taken 1 more point of damage because this thing would have been able to crew up this thing. So I would have taken 3 instead of the 2 from these pings. Oh my gosh, what a close one. Close one. Oh, nice. We needed that. Getting to that 4-win threshold basically gets you back your gems. So it's always a nice little place to reach. Do we want to make any more changes? 16 lands does feel good for this deck. Has any card been particularly bad? They've all been pretty solid. We might want an extra artifact. Our Monoist guy kind of likes the artifacts, I think. Or not, the Nautilus, not the Monoist. Monoist doesn't care. Artifacts are for the Nautilus, which is such a good card that it's worth enabling. Okay, we can keep this bad boy. We can keep this one. Swarm Color, once again, praying to survive. Nice. We'll start with the 3/2. Might as well. Get your biggest stat lines out first, usually. Force him to use removal or take more damage. Whoa, we are going to be able to hit them for more damage. Nice. So they really need their land drops, looks like. We could have played Decode Transmissions there. Was certainly an option. I like adding more to the board right now, though. Even if it's a little bit mana inefficient. Tractor Beam. Okay. You hate to see it. Especially because now they get a sack outlet for any of their creatures that I try to kill. Which is unfortunate, of course. Swarm Color once again gonna take one for the team, always dying. If it could just survive to like sacrifice a Beamsaw Prospector one time, that would be pretty good. It's kind of crazy how much of a must-answer threat it is, though. Ilvoy Galeblade, sure. I think within this game I am just in the market for as many cards as possible. My 2/1 is not going to hold up as well as some of these other cards will. And then I'll just play out the whale. Don't need a land. Zoof, if it will be pretty good, though. And the Monoist is probably going to take down the Umbral Caller Zealot. Or at least consider doing that. Tapping that guy, eh? So I can trade this for their 3/2. I don't see a reason to do that. Making them lose 2 would have been nice. Drawing 2 cards here is more important, though. Those are very good draws. Because they were going to have a double block on here. Wow, they just sacrifice it willy-nilly. It's interesting. Station Monitor, okay. That's going to be a lot of annoying chump blockers. Oh, gosh. That's good. Hoping they don't have counterspell. Okay, perfect. So we're going to buff up Swarm Color and take down their flyer army thing that makes an army of flyers. Actually, we're just going to take out the Umbral Caller Zealot for now. It's a bummer, but I think it's necessary. So now I can vote out the Station Monitor if I want. When I do this, I can sacrifice my lander token to draw a card. Bummer. Hate to see it. You hate to see it. Okay, we have 3 flyers, though. We can maybe work our way through them. And we didn't have to spend any mana on this, which was nice. Just had to tap our whole board. But if they attack me for a big chunk of damage, I can attack them back, so... They have 3, 6, 9 damage. And we have a couple kill spells in hand. 1 kill spell. Okay, okay. So getting another flyer here. Rescue Skiff. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. What are they taking? My flyer? Luckily, they're not going to be able to get any great abilities. Okay, that's actually really okay for me. I'm much happier with that than if they'd taken one of my flyers. And we're going to be able to steal their last card. This equipment is really annoying. Let's get them. Get their last card. Oh, that's a good one, too. Then we can... This is a 5/6. We could also warp this, Embrace Oblivion this, warp it again. Or warp this, Embrace Oblivion, our 1/1 to kill the 2/4. So we can attack with everything. Or we could kill this and... attack with these 3. Sacrifice this to draw. Oh, that's pretty good. I'd rather kill 2 1/1s than 1 2/2 here. Then we can play... So they have 3, 5, 7... Well, that's a huge draw. So they have to be a little bit careful here. Oh, of course they drew that. That's really annoying. Okay. Sure. Play this guy. Easily. Play this. And they're dead, right? They can only block the 4, and then they take lethal. Bob's your uncle. Bob is your uncle. That's a saying in America for that was easy. Though it wasn't. It was a close game, a hard-fought battle. And we emerged victorious. So, let's go. Huge win. We're 5-2, though really more like 5-1. Or, yeah, because we kind of didn't get to finish one of our games. But This deck has been cruising, and I have been having a blast with it. So let's just keep the winning going. And, yeah. I mean, we've definitely bounced back. We were 2-0, we went to 2-2, and now we've rattled off 3 in a row. That's just what you want to be able to do. Mentally, spiritually, from a gamer perspective. Gaming. We are gaming. That's why I don't love all those spacecrafts. I mean, some of those ones are just hard to crew up. You have to tap down on all your blockers, and then you're vulnerable. It's also why even when you're playing a slower deck, being able to put some pressure on your opponent is very valuable, because you end up in those situations where you have the ability to attack them down, and you don't have to just grind through literally everything they play. You can just be like, okay, I can actually just end this game. We can end this now. Oh my gosh, what a hand. What a beaut. Oh, baby. We have everything we need. Umbral Collar Zealot. Zuifit. Umbral Collar, I mean, that Tractor Beam was super annoying. I think they chose the wrong target the second time around, though. Another red-black matchup. Okay, let's just go through the... We played against a couple blue-black decks. We played against a couple, several red-black decks. I think based on the matchups we faced, the white decks have been relatively non-existent. We played against, like, blue-white, I guess, a couple times, but... Let's just get our Zuifit down. We can, next turn, warp this. Tragic. This... If they attack, they can sack Melted Moxite, get a robot, put a counter on their guys, so there's no point in me blocking. Oh, they have Plasma Bolt. Yep. Unfortunate. Well, I think we are at a high enough life total that we can afford to use this. Just to get some extra value. Take the block. Tragic the Pangolin. Then just jam a whale next turn. Then play this plus Nutrient Block, gain some life in the future turn. Pangolin, Pangolin, Pangolin. Okay, so they have no more lands. Interesting. With that in mind, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to play the Hound because I can always trade for the robot at the very least. Put this in my hand. And then I'm just going to warp the whale. Try to get a surveil, a little bit of info. Yeah, card draw seems good in this matchup. Especially because I have 6 points of life gain here. Okay, they hit a land drop. It's a close battle, but I think I'm ahead right now. The whale warping, I mean, we saved ourselves drawing this island, which was nice. And they don't even attack. That's really good. Okay, so they're just holding up a kill spell or something. So we're just going to Nutrient Block here. Sure, this is going to be good on this board state. It always seems like it'd be good on every board state. Another Nutrient Block going. And they just wasted their turn. We know they had all spells in hand because they'd missed a land drop. Okay, Elegy Acolyte is a problem. So we're actually going to not do anything because otherwise they'll get a robot and a card, and this way they'll only get the card. Unless they trigger Void here. Nutrient Blocks. Okay, so this guy's got to die. Play this guy. Just do it like this. We want to save this to gain the life. We don't need to play like Swarm Color and sacrifice this. At least not right now. Plasma Bolt, sure. Ugh, that's backbreaking. Real tough. Real tough. That's a good situation for them. Okay, play this. Sack our lander token to kill the actuator. Neither of those are particularly needed. Kill the actuator. Sack a lander. I assume they have a kill spell for the whale. But if they don't, we've stabilized. Okay, Embrace Oblivion, real good for them there. Yep. No, I don't want the Nicolanders. That'll just make the pangolin huge. Color. Vote out. Again, we're just hoping for the best. They win, of course. Yep. Yeah, that game there was... I don't think anything I could have done, really. We had a couple turns where we could have tried to, like, really flood the board with creatures, and they just kind of had it all. Every turn, their answer was, like, nearly perfect for what I had. Like, the Plasma Bolt, the Roving Actuator, Plasma Bolt, the Elegy Acolyte, where I couldn't block their guys because I didn't want to give them a robot. There was the turn where we didn't play Starbreach Whale, and they just didn't spend mana for the entire turn where I thought we had them, and then it just turned out that they had nothing, and playing Starbreach Whale would have been maybe our best option. Or maybe they had Embrace Oblivion at that point, but still, it was like... It felt like they were holding like a 4-mana kill spell or something like... And maybe this was too fancy. Yeah, we could have also tried to sack this at some point. Played Swarm Color, sacked it to gain 3 life. We were not going to be winning that game, I don't think, though, based on the way the cards were panning out. Oh, I felt like we were in really good shape. We used the Codecracker Hound for value, pure value. We used Hymn of the Faller. We drew so many extra cards. It's just the way they just had creatures in play, and they got extra value from their stuff, too, like Actuator, Elegy Acolyte. Their card advantage was affecting the board state. I feel like there was a turn where we maybe could have played like 3 creatures and voted out and just been tapped down, but I kept trying to block, and that was like my big mistake, was I kept trying to like use my creatures to like trade with their 2/2s instead of just like play a few creatures at once, vote out, because the vote outs were really the key plays that game, because I had a couple of times where I voted out where I could have maybe played 1 extra creature and just not had a blocker up, and that would have been able to like save me mana in the long run. I could have had more stuff in play. Interesting match. Still, 5-2, not the end of the world. I mean, remember, we did have that 1 game loss to disconnect, so it's not really a 5-3 record. 5-2 is a significantly better record. 1 less loss does make a difference, and overall, pretty awesome deck. I mean, black definitely seems like a color everyone's trying to play in this format right now. Look how many black cards we have, and look how effective our deck was. Pairing it with white gives you some stuff. Pairing it with blue gives you a little bit of access. I mean, we mostly were mono black. We had 3 blue cards, and like, yeah, we could have totally just played mono black if we really wanted to. But a really sweet deck, nonetheless. If you made it to the end of the video, leave hashtag Elegy in the comment section down below, because we won by the Elegy and we lost by the Elegy at the end. Or you could leave hashtag Bounce Back, because we really had to focus up in that middle part of the draft and come back from a 2-2 record after some unfortunate circumstances with the client/internet. I think it was more the internet. I don't want to hate on the client too much. But yeah, that was a lot of fun in the draft. I'm glad we were able to get a great record, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. That's going to do it for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.